as well, 14 centimeters that he's going to need to use that.
Yeah.
It's going to be great, especially when Baki starts establishing the jab.
The following bout is scheduled for 3 hard-hitting rounds in the Aris welterweight division. Introducing first, the man fighting out of the blue corner, a striker. He stands 186 centimeters, 6 feet 1 inch tall. He weighed in at 77.2 kilograms, 170.5 pounds. His professional mixed martial arts record flawless at 6-0. Fighting out of Wales, Bobby the Body Snatcher Pallet.
He said he felt at home last time, but not this time. They're booing him a bit.
The opposition awaits across the Aris Arena and fights out of the red corner. A striker. He stands 180 centimeters, 5 feet 11 inches tall. His official weight, 77.4 kilograms, 170.5 pounds. His record perfect at 4-0, fighting out of France by way of the Chechen Republic. Baysangur Chamsudinov!
Very popular kid here.
What do you think they're going for?
Yeah, good question.
Your referee, Mark Goddard.
Found myself clapping my hands like one of those little primate dolls with cymbals.
Baki ready to fly out here as we see Mark Goddard in the Aris Arena for the first time. Here we go. 2 undefeated fighters going head-to-head. Bobby Pallet, the first to try and fire a few shots. Baki with some good defense early doors.
I think these leg kicks are going to be very crucial in the fight, just because a lot of his weight is on his lead leg in order to be able to land these really fast jabs. But now the distance is closed.
Chamsudinov here.
And he's strong. He looks strong.
Notice how he's not really instigating here. He's learning, right? He's learning through tactile, his touch and feel. And he learned exactly what to do there. That was all downloading of information about Bobby Pallet's movements, and then it was a simple trip at just the right time and a rotation the other direction.
Yeah, some really good judo moves in there by Chamsudinov.
Just like in the last fight, when you get taken back towards your heel, there's no base to stop it. And now he's controlling, and he's landing shots. He's a lot more aggressive in this fight than the last one.
Bobby Pallet's got his guard up.
And closed, right? So in that moment, he closed it behind his leg into a figure 4 or a body triangle from the guard. Overhook on the right arm. And look at that limp arm approach to kind of try to strip it with Chamsudinov. Bobby C was locked in, hiding his own ear to ear. This was by design. This is definitely a strategy that they came in with. Keep him close, overhook the right arm, work on that, and take away his chance to hurt you.
If you see Baki, he has his hand under Bobby Pallet, which sort of limits your ability to move your hips, but it also can generate attacks for Bobby, where he can go to attack this arm and disbalance his opponent. The issue with having a figure 4 is that you can't really be offensive. You're just maintaining the opponent right there.
So Chamsudinov's arm underneath.
He's just free that arm now as well.
Yeah.
So Chamsudinov's arm underneath, you could see he was actually going to reach, grab Bobby's right hand, and feed it under. Didn't work, but it was some heavy.
Yeah, big strikes there fired. Pallet not content to just defend. He's looking to fire back.
That was a nice elbow from him, though.
Yeah, but look at Baki there.
Pallet's strategy is overhook and prevent any action, and when action happens, be the instigator, elbow. It's a modified strategy that kind of comes from 10th Planet, where you're going to decide that the guard is still an offensive position. Much of the world says when you're on your back, you're losing. But traditional thinking in jiu-jitsu is the guard is an offensive position because you have 4 limbs and you've only separated off 2 of his. Not everybody agrees with this thinking, but that's the thinking that Bobby Pallet is approaching.
We're halfway through
I would
this
say
opening
that
round.
if you were going to 10th Planet and you were in rubber guard and attacking some sort of thing, but if you have a body triangle on the lower hips of your opponent, there isn't much that you're doing offensively to attack. Although he is trying to create some space and land these elbows and these sort of heel kicks to the thigh and
It's the elbows that's the offense. So he's using sort of the tactics of it, and there he's kind of going to climb up and look for kind of a modified mission control. But Sometimes you'll attack Nomaplata, Gogoplata, etc., and sometimes you just elbow. You're still thinking of the guard as an offensive position. Now, let's inventory what we
Warning
have.
there from Mark
They're
Goddard for
standing
them
him up,
to
actually.
have a little bit more action. And he's going to stand them up.
That's the
Minute
other
30.
result.
And Bobby Pallet fires immediately. He's going to want to keep this at a bit more of a distance here, Pallet. Backing firing heavy with that right hand.
Another one, and he closes, and he gets the body lock, and we might see the same thing again. They might go back to the same position.
He followed his right knuckles all the way in with a step of the right foot.
He does that beautifully. He throws a right, and he sort of rolls over his opponent's counter attacks to then have a nice grip, a powerful one. And you see by the size of his back, I mean, it's going to be really difficult to get away from this. But Bobby's trying to dig an underhook and get himself out of this position. It's just going to be a little bit tough.
Yep.
A couple of knees there by Chamsudinov as well.
And remember, last time Chamsudinov here was patient. What information can I gain? Move you left, move you right, destabilize you slightly. How are you adapting? And we're going to use that against you. And that's what he did last time, and that's what he's going to look to do here again.
But he is starting a lot quicker than he did in his last fight. He's being a lot more aggressive, and maybe it's because Bobby Pallet is known to have a really slow first round, a really slow start.
Wonderful takedown there as well. 20-odd seconds left.
Looked for the triangle.
He just shook
Now
him
dangerous
off.
elbows, 17. Look at those elbows flying into Pallet. Pallet covering up.
He dropped for a heel hook or something, and it was just slipped away, so Pallet got up. So you look at the strategy, presumably. Sometimes you just adapt and change your strategy. But if Pallet looked at this one like, I'm going to strike with him when we strike, I will eventually get taken down. When I do, I'll try to shut him down, and maybe Good stood up. That did happen. All of that happened, but he lost the round.
But what we can see is on Bucky's stomach, a lot of bruising and a lot of redness. So maybe in these next rounds, Bobby can really push it out of himself and attack the body more, attack the leg more, and create angles so he doesn't get stuck in these positions where he's leaned up against the fence, being controlled.
Yeah.
And taken to the ground.
Yeah, Pallet just had a sneaky look at Chamsudinov there to see how his opponent was faring.
So that
trip was so
circle
nice.
trip, yeah, so nice.
Oh, I love it.
And it's because he just figured out, got him to stand his weight on that side. All your weight's on your right leg. Kick it out. Then rotate him the opposite direction.
He's always using his legs to sweep his opponents as well.
He's just so good, man. He's just so good.
That's where he narrowed the distance. He didn't hit, he didn't connect with that one.
No, he just goes, all the time he goes overhand to a roll under because he knows that counter's coming and it's always to the head, and then he closes the distance. But it's a good attempt of a triangle there by Bobby.
Yeah, but Chamsudinov just slid right out of it.
Yeah.
The takedown, that second one, was a foot. With the moment Bobby threw a knee, he kicked out the post leg. Similar concept.
Oh!
Bobby caught hard there.
And you couldn't ask for a better scenario. Catch the kick, land a right hand, and take your man down all in one sequence. So sick. I told you, this kid is special. Like, he's a rare one. He's so young.
Yeah, just 21 years old for Chamsudinov.
It's awful. I mean, it's
Bobby Pallet's not particularly old either, but right here he's in a little bit of a spot of bother.
So
Here we go.
Yeah. So that is a modified position, but
Big hammer strikes there with an elbow as well.
so now he goes to overhooks on both sides. It's possible you can keep those and get stood up, but usually one will get stripped.
Pallet's trying to move out of this position, but Chamsudinov looks to be in control.
Notice when Pallet landed an elbow, Chamsudinov was coming back and Pallet had to cover up.
Yep.
It's not. You see the thinking here, you see the logic of his approach, but so far it's being beaten by Chamsudinov.
He's also tripoding towards his opponent, and someone that we can see do this is Alexander Volkanovski. He tripods into his opponent so he can land more impactful shots, and it makes it very difficult for them to get up and get away from this position. So he has great head position here, and then he'll get up and put more pressure, just driving down into his opponent. And then when he takes that away, the shots can come, and you just don't see them because you think you're getting, it's just control, it's just pressure, and then a shot can come in like it is now.
Bobby pushes off, but he's right back in on him. You'll notice one knee down, one knee up, right? You see it right here? And then he can push off the ball of the foot of the knee that's down. Now both up. And
Pallet trying to stand up and does.
Bleeding very badly. Oh, and again, just straight back to it. Trying to go for that guillotine, but he just doesn't have the angle.
Yeah, that blood's a bit of an issue there because he's trying to wipe it out of his eyes as well.
I think it's under his eye, so it's okay. The fight wouldn't get stopped because of it. It's only more on the top of the eyebrow.
When he's down on his back, it may dribble into the eye, like just from that angle. But when he's standing up, it shouldn't.
I know they're saying Baki, but it sounds like Bobby to me.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's Bobby, that sense.
I would be telling myself they were. But this is a rough spot to be, man. You know, it gets harder as the fight goes on, not easier. Because now, if and when you get up, you're tired. So you want to hurt him, but you're tired. It's hard.
He's like posting on his face as well.
Yep.
Getting nasty.
And you can drive your hair into that
cut. Stay
cut.
in the position, work.
So he's asking him. So now there you see it. 1 foot up, 1 knee down. And now it'll be the other. He switches to the other side. That'll work for a little bit, and then he'll go to that tripod. See? Right knee down, right ball of the foot down, left knee up. And that pressure change, hip to hip to hip. The hip that's back is the one that has the fist loaded for power. Then when you come up here, it's all straight down on you. And it just wears on you.
Yeah, Baki just trying to stand up, might be looking to drop on his opponent.
Yep.
There it was, but it didn't quite connect. Good evasive movement
Trying to pass
by
the
Pallet.
arm. Watch, trying to pass the arm behind the back. If he gets that, the fight will end. And it will end violently. If he traps one arm underneath his man and gets the free side, the fight will end violently.
Pallet still trying to defend. It's been a lot of defensive work by the Welshman so far. How tired is he? Still 1 minute and 10 seconds to go in this second round.
The issue is he's kind of going for the same things that he was doing in the first round and throughout this second round, and they just haven't been working. He needs to change his approach, his strategy, just try to do something different. Beautiful
What
kick.
a defensive kick there by Pallet. Chamsudinov, is he shaken? It doesn't look like it.
Chamsudinov
Pallet looked to stand up, but Chamsudinov dropped on him.
still trying to attack one arm, pass it behind, and now you can just go back to what you did. Yeah, it sucks to get a calcaneus bone to the face. There's an arm bar.
And he's not putting over.
Oh, no,
Chamsudinov escapes. Really good try there, inventive.
That's the second submission that he was going for, and it was going great, but Baki just shook it off, and that is so demoralizing to be in that position because you're getting controlled, you're getting punched, you're getting hit, now you have a cut under your eye, and every submission you attack that would catch anybody else.
Yeah, a couple of good elbows there by Pallet, just on the jawline as well.
If he had landed 15 or 20 of those elbows from this position, his tactics would be paying off more, but it's very difficult to do because every time he throws an elbow, he gets punched from a man on top of him using gravity to his advantage. He just couldn't get his hips close enough to the root of the shoulder, you know, his cup. If you think about your protector, your jock, you want that right up to the root of the shoulder, and he just couldn't get it there. So catches it, throws a punch. The punch becomes a push or a straight arm, and he ends up right in the top position. That time off the knee. Yep, same thing. Here.
This is the one there.
Yeah, that's a real good up kick.
And if you're Pallet, it's almost a shame it didn't connect quite cleanly on the jaw. It was almost like in between, you know, in the hook between toes and heel.
So here, see how he loses
the head. Oh my God, how he was able to explode out of it. It was so beautiful. It was great by Bobby, and it was also great by Baki to escape it. It's been such a good performance from Baki. He's getting better every single time, and against a very tough, undefeated opponent.
Interesting statistic there by Pallet, though. Landed 33, thrown 34. I don't know how accurate that statistic is, of course, but if that's the case, encouraging. Round 3 between both men. Baki comes forwards.
So that time he didn't step through into the takedown. Because you don't want to be predictable every time.
Oh, we caught him on the chin there.
Again.
And the distance narrowed between both fighters.
I think as you catch him, you have to switch the angle because you know that's what he wants to do, and you're the one that's not in the center. Your back's closest to the fence. And if you're throwing these nice counter shots, you just have to get out of the way of it because he's just going to pressure forward. He's going to eat it, and now the fight's going to go back to how it was in round 1 and 2 if he's not able to break free.
And it's
He has a
tricky.
nice tie clinch, though, that he's trying to throw knees at, and he's going again to the body.
Notice in the earlier rounds, it was on knees when he was taken down. So he's still throwing them, but remember, that's something that Chamsudinov has done really well multiple times already in this fight, is take Bobby down in mid-knee.
That elbow.
Yeah, that's a nasty cutter, that is.
It was nice because when he threw that elbow, it was also to the hand that he was controlling. So it's like, here's your hand that's free, and then you realize that you're getting elbowed.
Yeah, Chamsudinov looks a little tired now as well.
It's hard work, man. Beating up on a tough dude is hard work. It isn't just, it's hard to be the nail, of course, but being the hammer is a tiring endeavor too.
Yeah, went for the takedown and gets it though.
Round.
It's still that sweep.
Yep.
Bobby
it's nice how he uses his right shoulder into his opponent to create that sort of pin, so then he can take away the legs, and he turns him as well at the same time.
Bobby's a tough dude, and he's mentally strong, but his face was saying, oh, God, this again. And, of course, why wouldn't you feel like that? But there's still 3 minutes left in a fight that you're still in, and if you're still in, you can still win.
Pallet's corner telling him 3 minutes left, 3 minutes left. They weren't happy with that takedown either. Baki looking to stand above the Welshman again.
Baki really happy with that takedown.
Yeah. Such a controlling fight by a 21-year-old. How much
Stay
maturity is he showing in this performance?
It's wild, man. It's wild to be this good at something at 21, at anything. Never mind cage fighting, against professional, 30-year-old professional undefeated fighters.
And his body as well. Usually at 21, you're not really developed into this really strong, grown body, if that makes sense. Fighters over the years, they go up in weight class because they build on muscle, and he is already there, already very strong. He's good in the striking department. You saw his fast jabs, his overhands are strong, but also the way he's able to link those together and get takedowns.
The musculature, you see, it looks like ribs, but it's actually a serratus muscle.
Our gunner standing him up. Baki doesn't agree with it.
You don't see a lot of backs like this at any age. That was smart.
Once again, Bobby goes down immediately.
So completely unexpected. He'd been throwing overhand rights to close distance. Instead, as you move into a clinch, just rip the body. This 21-year-old just making crazy decisions. And the decisions are happening too fast for conscious thought. It's not like you can sit there and go, he's grabbing me, I'll throw body punches. You trust your mind to make those choices without a conscious thought. Because if you wait for the decision to be made, it will be too late.
A minute 15 just about to go in this fight. Chamsudinov still in that controlling, domineering position. And I think Pallet now needs to make something happen.
I usually don't advise this, but if it's in the third round, there's only a minute left and you have to do something, he can start to dive in for the legs in order to create a scramble and just go under him to a different position, to a more advantageous position, because just holding him and closing your guard is not getting him off of you.
Yeah, well, he's squashing in so hard, it's hard to do anything. Bobby's, on some level, with 2 minutes remaining, your best Hail Mary might be trying to cut him. There aren't many available options here, and that's a credit to Chamsudinov, not a knock to Bobby Pallet. A credit to the kid. He's vaporizing all the space between and just smashing through.
Yeah.
Those were hard rib shots.
Hitting the ribs there.
Yeah. Did you see him wince?
Yeah.
And that's a hard man, He's not wincing because it hurts. He's wincing because actual biological damage is being done to his body.
Yeah, and look at him unleashing here. This is
monster.
One also for the judges, not just for Pallet.
This kid is a monster.
Stop.
And there you go, it's over between both men.
And he's a classy kid, you feel it. Sometimes you see people saying and doing the right things, but
I think
they may be
Pallet
caught.
there is acknowledging what's happened as well. I think
Yeah, your mind tires you. It's a mental fatigue as much as anything else. You know, the stats are interesting. Sometimes they're useful. Sometimes they tell us things, and sometimes they don't.